is out for that frag. A retake now ensues. Medzine holding in the back of the map with this stinger. Flash coming around the corner. Another perfect flash. But Medzine still dancing around. Only good for that one kill. Digizine on this last player stuck at the screens. Chased down, hunted down, and dropped by Melzer in the end. And KRU manages to get the first round with 3 players alive.
Exactly, 3 players alive to keep this going because they're going to be facing FURIA's weapons on the next. But a great retake, a lot from what we saw yesterday on KRU. Patience, not losing anybody if it was FURIA or anyone else taking the site, right?
Yep.
We saw it yesterday in MIBR where get the site, get position, and KRU would still have 5 full with util to retake. And they have been so good at those protocols. Really tough for these teams to have a good post plant. They showed MIBR, or they made MIBR seem like they weren't a team with the second best post plant in the regular season yesterday, right? It was just such a switch of gameplay for KRU. Now into round 4.
Poison orb emitting.
Slowed down, but still this B focus for FURIA.
Yeah. Always trying to keep Melzer pretty much aware. On this B site, double satchel through, close range for gravity well. And finally the assist comes across, but Digizine continues to explode now in the B site. Drop in a defense from KRU. One trying to spam through the smoke on the top of that for KRU. That's Nags, not connecting into any kills yet. Safe plant coming in. Medzine's looking for a very late lurk. The 1v1 moving forward. Davies spotted, and that's another player to fall for KRU. Might be the call here for the last 2 players to do whatever they can to save these last 2 weapons. Can they isolate Medzine now? And they will.
FURIA has created and orchestrated this little strategy here that KRU needs to always find Medzine.
Yep.
They can't do much. They can't commit to a retake without finding where that flank is. And again, Medzine controls almost 3 people in that situation.
Yeah.
Does go down, but prevents the round from being even, or having a retake. So FURIA is working the map so well right now to just stall KRU on wanting to push forward. They always have to look over the shoulder, and that's never a fun way to play split.
Agreed. It's almost like they're doing that simultaneously as well. The other times when FURIA are continuing to default towards this B main, their lurk already is activated from Medzine towards that A side ramp, and that's how we got the first kills, keeping KRU together at different spots.
And when the front of the attack is Digizine getting the kills you need, Medzine's job then becomes so much easier. It's just,
as you just saw,
it's working on so many fronts right now for FURIA. Ultimate for Kesnet comes up pretty quick for them. Let's see if it can turn this around. Instantaneous up towards mid, and Digizine wants blood.
It's going to be important now is not only the 2 rifles saved by KRU on that previous round, but if they could get value out of this showstopper now ready for Kesnet. NW0 still on top of the boxes, sees the jiggles of Nagzit, so those pain shells will push him out. A little bit too shallow, so Nagzit can still hold his corner.
KRU or Nagzit might go down here.
Oh,
yeah, will go down here. KRU actually set up in this round, expecting Digizine and MW0 to go up ramp. They, okay, Blade Storm's up. They might go for a fast hit on A again, and it was mid. Kind of uncharacteristic to see the ultimate for a Jet go that quickly up to find a mailroom kill, and now they're back to A for that double duelist entry.
Yeah, after 4 rounds, and then the 5th round starting to work towards middle. When KRU had focused this time on the extremities too, leveraging that potential showstopper from Kesnet on that B site. But it's gonna try to get used towards the A. Pushing NW0 out of position, punished by Davies. A 4 versus 4. Plant yet to go down with 30 seconds left. Digizine once again inside screens.
They scale so quick to a position and just get in KRU's face. Another A ramp take. This will be a little bit of a repeat here from KRU. See if the protocol is the same, even with less members.
Melzer does have this Cosmic Divide. If they want to start things off, no TPs available for Davies as he was looking for that entry. Positions just seems too good. At least for now, as we fight back for KRU. Klaus and Kesnet. One more time, the heroes of the team. The late lurk for Khalil, and the headshot then from Melzer to answer right back. And KRU continues the great retake plays from yesterday.
We had a few thrifties peppered into yesterday's series. The thing is they came in at ultra necessary moments here. This would have been a big spread in the scoreline for FURIA if they were able to grab the round, but the sheriff shots across the team of KRU yesterday were on fire, and it looks like they're bringing a bit of that here today.
Agreed.
Fist bumps all around as we get into a possible 3-3 here, as FURIA is just only one up. And these are retakes. Like you said, 2 defuses there for KRU. They found a way in. Game with FURIA getting to that post plan. A team with the second best attack coming into LCQ here off the regular season. So you know FURIA is going to have aggression into the sites. And maybe that's why we see KRU giving up the space so they can retake so safely. Big default here.
Yeah.
I think everybody takes a breath.
A change as well, though, in the protocols. Conan flashing early on the top of ramp, keeping both players of KRU on the top of that area, thinking that at some point there'd be a double satchel or anything for MW0, but both of the duelists, from FURIA are just holding it very quietly and cautiously towards that B main. KRU doesn't want to move at all, though. They want to be more reactive and letting FURIA make the first step.
A lot of what they did to MIBR yesterday.
That's true.
Sound and backpedal, sound and backpedal. All that utility's gone, and you leave your opponents having to clear dry angles. Oof. That was Digizine last time. Look at them both working together so quickly to get into this site. As the Cosmic Divide goes down, it'll put some patience on this attack, but this is about to get very vicious very quick.
Exactly. Cycling around the ultimates for the attack. FURIA then puts in the Viper's Pit after the Cosmic Divide. Seekers is trying to get a bit of info.
Seekers
at least
there.
On that push, yeah, and it's available for Klaus. Melzer also has his own Cosmic Divide, but before the wall comes up, Digizine gets the first blood. Kesset falls, Seekers coming in. It does hit MW0. Close to the wall, our KRU getting ready to flood back, right back. It's traded off for a few. Davies capitalizing on 1 kill onto Digizine. Shorty inside the pit.
Oh!
Just too much damage as the HP was dwindling down and the pit is just too thick. FURIA hold the post plant.
There it is. Nicely done. FURIA actually started at B, and they've liked B. Much better time controlling it as well. The size of A is lending KRU the ability to get FURIA on these different angles and peaks when they can hunker down inside that B site. Especially with these ultimates, they create all of these little angles that KRU is just scattered to find. Nice. That did require a lot from FURIA, but they get the round, they get the econ back a little bit, and they shut down the momentum of KRU.
Well, speaking about shutting down, that's Digizine once again. The main duelist, the main entry, the one that carries FURIA into all of these advantages.
You wonder how much would change with Conan coming in, right? You know, Digizine's going to be on the front line.
Yeah.
Not much
yet.
Support, yeah, how much support still goes to that player, how much they try to prioritize the success of their duelists, and it still stays the same here. It looks like Conan is slotting in really nice so far. And still supporting those duelists with the initiating. Back to the other side, to this B where they feel a bit safer, and it looks like they are going to get MW0 to be their flank, or lurker rather.
Understandable play that was attempted here by Davies. They are in a sort of broken buy that you have Hero Vandal in the hands of Kesnet, so he's trying to make a play with the Headhunter. Meanwhile, though, Melzer, with that Guardian, punished once again. And who better than Digizine? B site, one more time, up for the taking for FURIA. And becomes now a late lurk from MW0. Back towards middle. You hate to see those. KRU now suffering the tail end of getting killed through smokes. They were the ones who were able to do it before against MIBR, but wait a minute. Klaus, one more time, 2 kills. The late lurk then activated. There's that first, and a close range on the second. He will trade off for his teammate, and FURIA now take the lead, 5-2.
Digizine again, like you said, opening these up. The Spearhead, 4th first kill in a row to start off that round and get FURIA their 5th as we move into the 8th round of the game. Oh, just a little misdirection on the Trailblazer, and that's the half a second Digizine needed to clean it up. They are quickly reacting to Klaus when he presents himself in these sites. Menacing impact frags coming out of him still. And KRU's gonna go ahead and call a timeout here. I think KRU is playing too passive to a detriment. They are getting safe retakes, but they're not getting enough info of where FURIA has made it, how far they've scaled, really what was used into the site, because it's a guiding light, and you have, that time, just Digizine, but usually 2 duelists in. And I think it's been too much without the info, without just a little bit of how that's being executed. KRU is left in the dust.
Was still a bit of the game plan that KRU had against MIBR to give that space for that Brazilian team to think that they have open sights and are just really good for the retakes. But the real difference that we're seeing this time around, that space that's given to FURIA allows a player just like Digizine to step up to the plate and already be on a heater. It just brings me flashbacks to when actually Digizine tried a chamber on this map on week number 1. He had a very slow start, and they took the whole map, switching back to a jet into Ascent, and then we saw the good old jet from Digizine. And he brings it up now already, starting here at the LCQ elimination game once again. And he's putting those numbers in already.
He doesn't have much to worry about either in terms of utility. If you think about it, even for MD Vizera, hold the thought. It looks like they're going with W.
Oh yeah, we're doing that again. This time with the showstopper. Paint shells now moving forward. No contact on anything in the space. Maybe taken. Will they clear? Melzer in the back. Foley flash. Booba moving forward. And he gets blown up. Second to fall on the top of heaven. Kesnet trying to fight back. Jumping through New York.
Wait a minute.
Across on the other end. MWZ chases him down. Nags and Davies.
Spike planted.
Davies with the tool de force. And Conan with the re-heal on FURIA. 3 players playing deep in the site. Trailblazer still available to get info on the top. Delays moving through. Nags at waiting. They just know through that there's going to be somebody lurking, but they never know the timing. And the timing's now. An easy kill for Khalil. Davies left on an island. He's trying to swim back here to safety, at least on this 3 versus 1, trying to do that econ damage. But this time around, it's to save at least a Phantom. FURIA off the execution and the showstopper. We're able to hold another solid post plant.
Quick, clean. Like you said, showstopper was there, and KRU not able to bring anything back on there. The tour de force gets used up, but they do bring a Phantom into the next round. It's just, how do you stop FURIA? What I was saying at the beginning of last round is Digizine and MWZ don't have much utility they have to worry about. We don't see Sage as much anymore. There's no Cypher here, right? They can bounce right into sight, and it's on the aim. And what does Digizine and MWZ have? Great aim. So it's on them. They feel comfortable, and they're putting themselves in these priority, high, intense positions, and still coming up with the results.
You know who else has a great aim, though? You had somebody like Klaus, right?
He's answered as much as he can.
Haven't had a chance to really shine yet on this map. FURIA's been doing a great job just also using these smokes and this double controller composition that they have to not allow KRU to get these type of kills. As you try to get a late lurk, Mazine already gets punished for it. But FURIA are already looking here to rotate back and fight back. The Trailblazer gives false information, and KRU's even bunny hopping away thinking. It's a huge mind game right now for both of these teams. Davies is staking forward as they double swing out for FURIA. It's time to react for KRU. So 1 for 1, make that a 2 for 1.
Wow.
It's time for MWZ from the grave, dropping 2 with the paint shells and allowing FURIA to move in for a plant.
All right, the rotation over. Marshall for Melzer. Kesnet may be the front of this fight. If they can get some of these blast packs to displace FURIA. Digizine's ready, though, to collapse. And gets collapsed on.
It's Klaus, man. Seekers are available now to spot the last 2. So you have to play around the rest of the utility. Khalil forced to pop up a Nebula very early. Gravel on the defense. The retake attempted. Conan swings out for the kill. But Kesnet answers right back. Khalil in a clutch situation once again, playing inside that smoke. Here's a foot, sets a belt! And as it dissipates, KRU continues still to have some great trade ability.
Yes.
And they finally come back with the 3rd round.
They're finally rewarded for this conviction of guarding a ramp over and over again. It wasn't Digizine and MWZ that went in, but it was that lurk again. Right here, Davies getting this frag. Stop that whole troublesome situation of having to worry who's the lurker. Where are they going to be coming from? You see how much more confident Crew was to move into the site and execute this retake.
Such an important kill you saw there that came out from Klaus, which allowed those Seekers to be ready and spot the last two players and have Crew finalize that round. It was a broken by the hand on that previous one, so they capitalize on that. The money is good in this round for Crew. So just making some noise here towards the back and forth of the A ramp control. And FURIA seems to have won it at the beginning of this round.
I can hear steps. You ever hear somebody jump peeking? You know they probably have a partner real close. Nobody's gonna do that and just give away their position. You can see 3 of them back there ready to trade this fight.
Nice swing by Davies. Digizine falls. Key component here. Falling down for FURIA. But they've also always been good in these 4 versus 5 situations. Looking to see if Crew's gonna peek back out, be a little bit more antsy, and decide to choose the safe route, putting the wall up. Flash to get information on the defense. A lurk kill from NW0 onto Naxit at middle. Seekers then coming through. Another flash, but it's a rotate back from FURIA back at middle.
All the way through. Trying to ring around the rosy here. They still don't have Spike just yet, so that will delay them, giving Crew time to get into position.
30 seconds
but still,
left.
they have Crew off their first defensive positions. It's kind of the goal of doing a strategy that goes across the map.
There's 22 seconds left this time, though. Nobody could actually swing in. It's Kesnet himself with the showstopper.
What a great stall.
And just that, exactly. The plant's not going to happen. That's one piece of util, no kills, that still allows Crew to get the round.
Not a round you expect to see with 4v4 save out here. Crew doing a fantastic job of tracking FURIA across the map. And that's going to be a round. Oh! MW0 evened it up.
And that's
uneven.
a big kill.
Yeah.
Because he gets that kill right there, that's a showstopper for this round here.
What's the answer? Nothing on deck for ultimates on the other side. A great trade to start off. And again, we see the start, that first kill coming from the side of Crew, and the momentum for FURIA is almost stopped immediately.
Yeah.
Not as much confidence. They can't work off the audio of Mazine grabbing or MW0 on the flank. You see that death ball of FURIA staying together and having to work more dry peaks or off the last bits of utility they have. It's not always easy to get the first kill, though. Digizine's been wild in the first part of this first half. Crew are only answering back now. And that was the first round the spike hasn't been planted. So you see how much FURIA is getting to the site, being able to pressure. And Crew finally figures out how to put up a solid wall and stop that.
And just from the replays, reminiscent of what happened a few rounds ago as well, we've seen some success from FURIA also in the early rounds of controlling middle. That poison orb that you're trying to put down on mid on the defense there for Nags, it still has a little gap, or the box is on the top. He can't really play that aggressive angle in that one and done position, or really doesn't have that support from the B heavens. But when you're starting to do that for Crew, you're leaving the extremities open, and that's where FURIA once again could play those mind games and get control very early like they did and start activating the lurks out from Mazine again.
The operator purchase from Crew as we come out of the timeout. Both teams on timeout, so you have this inkling. You expect your opponent on attack, if that was their timeout, to have a tricky protocol here. And already a different setup on defense from Crew.
Oh! Unlucky there as MW0 opened up with 2 kills.
The star timing, just pulling out the star.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, MW0 on point right now and inside the head of Crew on their defensive protocol. A little bit of lurk by Nagzet here, and it looks like they are going to have to give up this space. That was just too quick, too fast, and a timeout grabbed for the side of FURIA. Talked about it before. They have such a good mindset for using a timeout and being able to make that next round go into their favor, whether it's with an ultimate protocol with Digizine, we've seen it on Ascent, or just a simple strat to make it into sight. There it was MW0's ultimate that you, like you said, grabbed off of that last kill of last round. So the impact it has continues to affect the game.
Yeah, and that's the second time here. A showstopper getting a lot of space for FURIA on the hits. The question was coming across here at the desk. Any roles will change if anything is going to be changing for FURIA now that you have Conan, who actually had a lot of experience playing with Tibika in the past as well. In the Brazilian scene as a Raze himself. A couple of Sage roles as well. But you can't forget NW0 on this Raze, who's also very potent. Now it also answers a question of, yeah, it doesn't really look like there's going to be any role issues for FURIA. If you do want to have Conan have the switcheroo with NW0, NW0 is also a very, very good Sky player.
Absolutely. Fast W?
For MW.
Yeah, MW going straight forward. This operator is still here for Davies.
And it connects. And that's the responsibility that Davies has. But unfortunately, a trade-off from Pain Shells once again in favor of NW0 and FURIA. A 4 versus 4, Kizit trying to push forward and fight back. Satchel charge to break the crosshair placement of NW0, forcing him to fall back in mid.
Huge. Smokes are down. Now it's just Mazine to be able to work that, and they find the Lurker, which has continued to plague KRU in these rounds.
Yeah.
These retakes always been successful once they do find that straggler.
And that was that mid. And they're forced to fall back in the A site with everybody else. Big flash coming through. No connection, but at least Conan is there for the support. The headshot onto Melzer. A 3 versus 3. Reheal trying to come up here. A regrowth. Crossfire set up in the back of the site. A 1-for-1 once again. And it's a 1 versus 1 to see who wins the round. And it's Conan running out of bullets. And Kestet getting the defuse. As KRU salvages the round. And we end the half 5-7 in favor of FURIA.
Incredible stuff to be able to come back. FURIA not being able to hold on to the retakes on a few of these rounds where KRU continue to find their success. And it's clean from both teams, but I am worried of how KRU is going to bring this onto attack without the double duelist.
Yeah, and it's been some great plays whatsoever, or at least to start the first half here. Explosive on both ends. Digizine doing his job, but I think it's back to the desk, or should I say the analyst desk with GB, so they could break down that first half.
Thank you so much, Vansilla. Yes, the invisible analyst desk as well. You know, comes with me wherever I go. But yes, let's go ahead and talk about what we saw in that first half of play there. It was very clear. B, free for FURIA. A, not so free for FURIA, but free for KRU, evidently. Quite fascinating to see how this played out, and it's good to see that this matchup is as neck and neck as it's been, Mimi.
Yeah, it is, and I think this is kind of defined by two things. On one half, for KRU, what they excelled at was these late-round retakes, continuing what we saw from them yesterday, where this team is so willing to be really patient in these late rounds. Take the time to regroup, play these set retakes, and they were really effective, particularly on this A site, where I think 4 of their 5 rounds were won.
Yeah, I mean, early on into this half, it was Digizine who was really taking over the game from that clutch on the pistol, then into those calm entries where his crosshair placement was just excellent. Davies would try to swing in, as you do early on the chamber, and was just getting deleted. And then later in the half, it was MW, those explosive entries, double satcheling in on the Raze.
And this gives them a good half on the side of FURIA. But now, my biggest question is, how does KRU's comp work when they switch on over
that's
to
what Rim was
attack?
asking.
Because with both this chamber and Astra, I think you really have to slow things down. We saw FURIA's successes in these double dive, these really fast executes. When you play with that chamber, you more so want to take your time, working them out, pushing up into mid, entrenching either your chamber or Astra into a position where they can find that late round lurk. And I think that does force KRU to really continue to showcase the fundamentals that they've been working on.
And on the opposite side, FURIA, they loved running this double duelist throughout the season, but there were a number of games where they got a big advantage on attack side, and then it just slipped away from them on defense.
Yeah.
For FURIA, if we expect these really slow retakes from KRU in the first half, it's going to be about these really fast flood retakes with this double duels, and about if they can get Digizine on that operator. He can take over games if they get to that point.
Well, you know, Riv, you were asking what's going to happen on the other side for KRU. We'll find out here. I know we're curious as well. Let's send it back over to the casters.
Thank you very much, GB. And indeed, now finally our questions will be answered for the second half. And the last time these two teams played on Split, it was literally split 6-6 on the half. The difference this time around, though, for KRU, when they had that success on the attack, though, they were playing that double duelist.
Yeah.
So now that they only have Davies, how do you work that utility around Kest and activating him around the map?
And it's such an expensive role you want to play, too. Do they even go for the operator? But you use that headhunter the same with the way Davies has been playing. Yeah, questions will be answered quite soon here. Sheriff to start off as usual for Digizin. See if he can make any impact. His A ramp is slowly being taken. Seeing what they can get out of the side of Furia here. Still the rotation by Davies. So that's going to be our lurk. Watching everything, staying in range of the trademark. Being able to give the team audio cues here.
Waiting on the util is Crew. The defensive wall coming down, now forcing Crew to move forward. Allowing Crew to move forward. And pinch against Benzine, who still gets the opener on Davies. Snake butt on the ground. Head on a swivel. Support coming through. He goes through his zone! Snakebite to get 2 kills, and we continue once again. Pain shells from MW0. And it's up to Nags on a 4 versus 1. Spike on his back.
Toxin screen down.
As the first contact is the last contact. Conan allows Furia to get the other pistol.
That was absurd. The in-the-moment play from Mazine, getting forced out of a position, realizing his escape was actually covered, and being able to turn around and still make it happen here.
This.
Turn around. Just amazing mindset in the play. You got to do the unexpected. Even with the opponent staring straight down that corner at him, he still comes up with an amazing amount of kills and just stalls out Crew. We get into our bonus now, or next round rather. That was wild. There's Judge ready.
A little bit too far though, the support on that B side for that Judge in the hands of NW0. Just util instead. Pain shells Nebula, allowing Kesnet to pick up an orb. And as they hear the orb for Furia, that's when they finally move to NW0. Locking down the entrance in that B site, and Crew decide to fall back.
Right there.
Might be one pick coming through.
Blocking vision.
Trying to get a TP play. TP's not even needed. Davies just dispatches MW0 with that shot from the headhunter.
Slow play. We've seen Crew yesterday as well play a lot of these rounds slow enough to make it. Just like we talk about Cloud9, EG, how they play their ecos like actual gun rounds with the potential and knowledge that they can hit these sheriff shots and absolutely lay out the rest of the side of Furia.
30 seconds left.
Towards A, they've got a good rotation out of Furia now, so they will have sight, and Digizine's going to be able to make that call.
Long range, Sheriff.
There it is.
Actually in favor of Kesnet instead. So another to fall, and Crew well on their way to try to win here at Thrifty, as the plan is now safe for players inside the site. One on the rotate watch, the flank watch. And that's Davies at the A ramp, about to come head to head against the Stinger of Medzine. Meanwhile though, Conan is walking out from screens playing contact. Duels on both ends of the A site. Won by both teams, but the disadvantage still comes in for Furia. Flash after flash, a Spectre and a Stinger. A second flash coming through, and that's beautiful to drop the last 2 players inside the site, leaving only one alive. Davies couldn't get it done. It's Furia's turn to play some great retakes.
Furia continues to hold on to the accolade of being one of the best 4v5 teams in Americas. Absolutely incredible, and that one being a 3v5.
Yeah.
So put another one on the board for him there. Really incredible, recognizing the seriousness that Crew is putting into these ecos, and that Furia can still manage to figure it out and just decipher what Crew wants to get out of this, especially on that retake. Yeah. Nice pile in. Mimi talked about it. You're going to get swarmed a lot of the time from this team, so you got to be ready.
Crew is trying to make that play with the pop flash around the corner, but when you're playing close range with a Stinger and a Spectre and you only have pistols to work with on the post plant, not easy to do. At least they've done that econ damage. Fury won't have too much to work with in our bonus round. 3 Sheriffs and those 2 SMGs that we just talked about. And for Crew, slow takes towards the mid and A long.
Trying to take space. It's back to in this composition, it forces you to go back to one of the really just the original meta or play styles we saw is creep up mid, find that space. If you have an operator, the ops first, but they're doing it without that utility right now.
Yeah, just a lot of contact plays here. Conan spotted a few, walking up towards that B. A pop out from the snake bite at the bottom, trying to vulnerable some players. That's Medzine. Also has a sheriff to work with as he's working the site with Khalil, trying to anchor that down. Snakebite continues to push him away. Leans out towards the right. Does have an angle here. But Nagzit still wins it. Better weapon that he has in his hands. Big flank coming up. That's Digizine. Cannot connect. Finally, a plant comes now for Crew.
Spike planted.
Ooh. Yep. A little bit of a wonky bounce there, but NW0. No window of opportunity after that. Nebula shuts down the door, and Crew's looking in a good spot here to not lose too many players against Furia's bonus, in hopes to bring the second half back and keep the economy high.
If Kesnet could get this on the search, he gets ultimate. That would be huge. But yeah, Crew playing it safe, knowing they had the gun diff, and that's what we saw at a lot of these trades. Furia did see Crew, but Crew too fast to the shot, too big of a weapon. Thank you very much. I like it. Run! All right, safe. So weapon brought into the next round. Hero rifle. Could see here.
Well, it'll be tied in with
Drop the round.
everything else that they have here
Yeah.
Furia.
Oh, that's true. Coming to the bonus. These rounds are so long. I feel like we're deeper into these rounds. Or into the half. All right. Crowd behind him still. Crew definitely had that. Felt like a home crowd yesterday for sure as they were playing against MIBR. We'll see what they have now, round 16. That bonus operator for Digizine actually. So I feel like this actually plagued Crew a little bit when they had the op on Davies. It made them timid for the retake. If Digizine can't open up here big, then they might have trouble getting back into these sites for post-plan.
Medzine's just trying to play around. Cycling now, smokes. Oh, there was a timing there that Kesnet could have caught Medzine. As the second smoke comes up in vents, Crew's trying to work up towards this B heaven. And Furia, reacting on it, are pushing their two players outside B.
This can only work so many times, right? Just the creep up to heaven. They're playing the it won't happen again mentality against Furia. But now Furia goes to check that heaven. Yeah.
Seekers confirms now mid-control, but Medzine still gets punished. Being a little bit too ahead of the Seekers. Didn't notice that there was actually a lot of players from Crew. Defaulting now at the beginning of this round on mid. Rotating back from getting that first kill on Vents. Crew's looking to push towards the A site.
30 seconds left.
Digizine and Conan anchoring.
Big flash blinds Kesnet. So he can't value off the satchels in the site. Conan now hiding behind it, but he gets picked through the smoke. And it would allow Crew here to get the plant down. Cycling that over, that's Kesnet for the plant, so we can have the showstopper. NW's just got spotted by Davies, and Davies decides to fall back, putting his trademark down. And now finally anchoring up towards the A heavens, but Fury decides instead to save that operator and 2 rifles for the next round.
It's not too scary of a save at the current position of the game, but that op, like I said, we saw Davies and the team doing the same thing. We had a 4v4 save last half. And the fact that this operator can't either be in the fight already or in position for the fight makes it so tough with all these angles to re-clear and the utility you may have at the late part of the round. So I think Crew get the benefit of this one. Everybody out alive in a flawless round, but it is the save from Furia they have to be aware of.
And that's the thing. I don't know if they're aware that there's an operator yet.
I was wondering the same. I don't know if Digizine fired off a shot or kept himself completely safe on that round, but we know the movement of Crew will tell us as soon as they find it. They should run the other way.
Or run it down.
or run it down. They hear it, and showstopper, still a possibility. Kind of tough to find that dashing Digizine, but it could be a possibility for sure. Frenzy and Sheriff. So it's going to be a supportive round here for Furia, probably holding angles, being around each other, and safe until they can get a full idea of what Crew is doing. And Crew is working the map really well. We questioned it, how they would use this comp, not being able to blast in. So far, it's been a lot of mid and then branching out into the map. Here, a little bit more of a default. They're actually going to leave Davies, though, on a mission.
Yeah. Very similar roles on different agents.
Yeah, this was
Matzine or
Mazine's job.
Davies, the A-ramp control. Now trying to leverage potentially Kesnet for a showstopper entry towards this B site. And I like it that at least he has support here from Klaus. They could use a flash, they could use a body, but it's a wide swinging set. It gets punished for it, but at least they come right back out. No opportunity for DJZine to really get away, and the showstopper goes long range. Oh, MW0 dropped down and was able to avoid that showstopper, but Kesnet reacted quick enough to drop him. But 2 players are still inside the spawn for FURIA. Nice snake bite. Klaus melting down. But FURIA decides otherwise, not to try to explode yet. Off the snake bite left on the ground here by Matzine. Now spotted in the back of spawn at the B site, down to 5 HP. And FURIA is just looking to do that damage on the exits.
So you were right, Vance. It was the C, DJZine, and W. It was not the retreat strategy.
Yeah.
Also, DJZine, a little bit of a forced error there as he went right into the wall, not thinking there was more than Melzer. We get a few exit kills in this situation, but we are going to be brought to 9 to 8. Kesnet.
Nice shot.
Gross.
Wants to chase after these, keep the economy low. Oh, yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a little body shot, little body shot. So 3 successful plants to post plants now. And yeah, for a moment, we had DJZine's POV there in the beginning, and you saw there's a hesitation like, oh, it's only 1 frag, but that late entry into main, you saw, made him think different, and KRU already had the advantage at that point and the move.
I knew exactly need this. We've given a lot of praise, actually, to FURIA on how they were able to work the attack on this very map of Split, but definitely it's been KRU all along in the second half of Split. Not as quick, not as explosive as DJZine did on his jet roll on the attack, but still finding a lot of value with working Kesnet around the sky. Still leveraging him and also other bodies to continue with the fundamentals of the trades that they're currently doing very well throughout this LCQ for KRU.
Adam with the final words here since they are chatting as well. Fist bumps as well. Davey just on the end there, having a pretty great game on the chamber. It's not something they focused or want Davey to do too much with, but you see how this composition works together and how they're playing it. Nobody's committing too much, and it's all behind what they can get Kesnet to do as well. And here looks like Kesnet's going to be the one that pushes them straight up a ramp or into sight with tour de force live and ready.
Oof. Wait. Coming through, but it's still Conan to answer first. Cloudburst to try to push them back. Counter flash coming through. And it's a stalemate right after that first kill. After this, the destruction of Klaus through the paper-thin wall of A heaven. Evens up the tally in a 4 versus 4.
Honestly, I don't even know within that chaos if they know there's a Viper's pit mid right now. Because if they did, they may be going forward, realizing there's less people in sight and one still guarding. That was so much mayhem to begin this round. But still going to hold a ramp to see if the movement comes from the side of FURIA first. Look at the stacks that they have. Watching the back, watching the front.
Yep.
And trademark is still there, so they're staying within range.
Exactly. That's a responsibility of Davies. Trying to get a tap if anybody's going to overcommit. No tour de force because they have the Vandals to work with, so they're going to save that ult for a later round. Trailblazer to spot DJZine. Trying to get a spray as the walls are coming through. Nice snake bite, though. MW0 is just going to eat that. Just so they could still continue with the surprise play.
30 seconds left.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, though, DJZine drops 2. There's that walk down. Whoa. Nagzet still gets the flick. Evens up the tally on a 2 versus 2 this time around with 20 seconds left. Plant coming down safe. But Melzer's very low on HP on the post plant.
You are divided.
Util to drop into the Viper's pits. And we see the Cosmic Divide go through. So this means a lot of ground can be gained. It's just, will FURIA be looking at the right corners when they breach this wall?
And this is a great wall, too. For crew to use on a post plant. There's no sky flash to go through it, so you have to body peek. Snakebite coming
Here
through the wall, so you identify the first player. Now dropping in back of the map. It's up to the low HP. Khalil once again. A star player that you have as a control player, allowing FURIA to get the round finally here on the defensive half.
And Mazine playing a little bit of displace the enemy. They use the Viper's Bites to basically tell where the players of crew are not. And then give themselves a better advantage once that wall does go down to realize the angles they have to peek. You could even see there the vulnerability on Melzer, so they were hitting them true. Beautifully done there to suss out where the opponents were for the retake. FURIA coming up with a pivotal round right there. And they're going to be 10-8 here, putting the pressure on now after that defuse. Blades for Digizin. Khalil now with a Cosmic Divide and that Davey ultimate.
Play, let's play.
Right away. I think they just identified Nags. That was a good flash coming in from Conan. And it's the dry peek. Quick dismiss for a look here.
My ult's ready.
Faust, meanwhile, has picked up an orb here, but a Trailblazer was avoided by Nags all the way down towards long. So FURIA is pushing down this area at that A ramp, thinking that they might have that control. And this might allow crew to work towards middle. Back in the vents for that flash, okay. Did you see just spotted Nags at a 1v1? Dash activated! No! Once again, face plants into the wall. And Nagzet gets the first blood.
Gonna retreat from the area too. Just quick trade in mid, calling the attention of Conan to keep rotating around.
Sometimes you gotta make those plays. Player disadvantage for FURIA.
Oh my god.
Trying to even it up. There's a timing from Conan. He's made it through the spawn. This might allow crew still, no matter what, to get a plant. But FURIA might be in a great spot for the retake. Khalil now in the back of the site, breaking the boom bot, and also breaking his crosshair placement. Conan left alive on a 3 versus 1, and already pre-fired by Naxit. And crew once again are 1 round away of tying up the game.
Back and forth, and there Naxit at the end, the 6th sense all the way through spawn, backpedaling to make sure that was available. Oh, Digizin. That moment when you think you have such an upper hand on your opponent, you see, I see you're flashed over the box. I want to get another position. Gets caught in the rotation to find that positioning. And you see the crew fans are loving it right now. Back and forth we go. Bladestorm still there for Digizin. And it comes out immediately. So Klaus, in the end of this round, they'll be able to use the Seekers if they don't have enough of an idea where FURIA is. And while not speeding anything up, crew is doing a great job.
What a flash. Davies turns away, only high blinded, but it allows DJZ to move down, right click and pick up a rifle. Naxit looking to punish, but unfortunately doesn't work out. Nice first blood there for FURIA.
Toxin screen down.
And with that as well, you have a reposition from Madzine right here. And Naxit may not be ready for this. Crew trying to make some noise now, trying to gain some map control on the top of B. Evens it up on a 1v1. There's a lurk play, never checked. Big check, almost lost by Madzine.
Double take. 3v3 now. It's going to be cross map again. They have done this before.
Madzine continues to be very good with that utility, pushing crew back into B heaven.
Conan.
Where Conan's currently waiting. First shot there, capitalized on the second one.
My
gosh.
And that
30
is
seconds
some
left.
crisp shot for a player that hasn't played for at least 90 days. Feels like he is still playing like he was still in Tibika.
Like riding a bike. Honestly, looking at what he was doing on the retakes of first half, he was always getting 1 or 2 frags. His crew tried to get in and defend and defuse the spike. So having impact frags all throughout, even if you're not seeing headshot after headshot after headshot, Conan is fitting in incredibly for the intensity of the situation.
Meanwhile, though, FURIA thought that they had the round. Klaus slipped through, got the plant down. He's playing the mind game.
Oh.
He's planning as if they'll make him think that he's not playing heaven, and finally he gets spotted.
Now he goes back to screen. Yes.
And with that,
Reposition.
has his 2 flashes available too on this 1v1. Medzina walking inside the B site. There's that tap.
You have to know.
Klaus is looking for the timing. No flash needed. Klaus with the Red Bull clutch.
Wow. Have like 2 or 3, at least 2 4Ks between the series yesterday and today. An ace for himself yesterday, Klaus. All right, must have changed the batteries or recharged his mouse because this is incredible play here. And Mazine there expecting to hear the drop, waiting to hear the drop.
Yeah.
Didn't even stop at half. So you can just see how far ahead Klaus is in these situations of his opponents. Incredible stuff from him recently. All right, towards A. Deep Trailblazer goes through, and it looks like a whole squad of crew is going to take this, but it's still this 1-1, or I'd say 2-3 across the map that is played slow by crew. This is now crew expecting FURIA to peak, to come out just a little bit, and give up some information.
They want to give an indication that they want to potentially do a pistol round strat of working the A ramp back down towards middle. FURIA just looking with utility to be more reactive. Seekers are out very early in this round. 1 minute left on the clock. But there's no face checks behind that.
All right, everyone to A side. Spike's going to go towards heaven to start here. We actually might end towards B if they don't get the result of kills they want on this strategy. Crew has been trying to throw FURIA for a loop, and I would not put a cross-map plant by them here.
Davies with the operator in the range of the trademark. A flash across Klaus' first blood.
30 seconds left.
Now the A ramps under control by Crew, but still 2 players are inside the A site. Both raises getting kills next.
That's
dropping out the defense on the A site. Digizine looking for an opportunity at least to do some heroic plays and allowing FURIA to come back in the round. But if a couple of seconds more dwindle here, especially with this smoke, this might be the call finally to save.
And both teams putting strength in the op this late on split here, hoping that Davies or Digizine can be a huge factor in turning this round into an instant 5v4 in their favor. Another save to make sure this operator can make that a possibility next round. And Crew, they have that momentum. They talked about it, being able to just steamroll over their opponents. It just gives them that confidence. Oh my gosh. 2 ultimates to use next round too, Van Silly. Good kill.
An opportunity though to punish. One's dropping here towards the spawn. Dash away. Whew. Hiding in the smoke. So the op's still there, but no matter what, Crew takes the lead in this game on their map pick on this map.
Yeah, Furious pick. You don't think it's going to be true.
30 seconds. Spike down A. I have the spike.
We'll see if they can pick it back up. All right. Now to attack side.
It's important not to save here for FURIA on that previous round with Khalil in that Vandal. For the rest of them, not too much to work with unless they could do something with the showstopper. It's time for FURIA to do a little bit what Crew did on that pistol round, to push aggressively down on that middle. But no opportunities to punish. As when Nagzet saw that member, he fell back and is just waiting for Crew to pinch back on the other end of the map. But FURIA has none of that information besides that Viper that they saw in sewers.
I've been watching Nags a lot to see what kind of util he's throwing out or how much he's messing with his wall here. I feel like it's messed FURIA up quite a bit. They're ready for mailroom this time, though, Van Silly.
Headshot down from Madzine, Snakebutt on the ground. Vulnerable on 2 players, and the Spikes on an island by himself on the top of the mailroom. Elise finally, after that first initial chaos, is able to get met up by his teammates. And KRU at a disadvantage are looking to split in the B site, but that's where 3 players are at for FURIA. Showstopper denied by Khalil. A knock kill now for Davies. We turn it back around for KRU. It's a 3 versus 3. Weapon advantage. A push across.
Khalil.
Off angle by Khalil. Now pitched in from hell. A shot from Davies. Up to Conan on a 2 versus 1. Picks up a Phantom. A pit comes out. Oh, Davies once again. On fire on the attack with the operator. What's KRU at that point?
The question was, could they get to the op? Was the tour de force enough? How was Davies going to play this chamber? Coming now in for KRU on split, and we're seeing it come to fruition here. Absolutely laying down the shot for the rest of the team covering. And Davies coming in from behind too. They were just not ready for this.
I'd like to think that they were. They had 3 players in there on that stack on that B site for FURIA.
You expect to see that op be one of the first peekers, though.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be getting railed by 1 and 2, 3, 4 as they come into the site. Push mid.
A trade-off. A timing to try to punish MW0, but still a 4 versus 4. And that's 2 key players falling down. Both operators for KRU and FURIA.
Seekers is ready. They can just string this round out if they don't want to go B and figure out where the opponents are. Oh, my MDU's a huge play. Huge play!
But the help from Klaus. Just add the 3rd player moving through. KRU are 2 kills away of winning this first map. The last time it was dead even in a situation where KRU let this lead slip and FURIA won at 13-11. Now KRU finally has a chance for revenge and to close it right now. Plant for long. And all the stars aligned here on the spike. Difficult for Conan to retake here with Medzine. Both on individual plays. Conan looking for at least a contact play. Noise being made towards B heaven. There's that first peek. Overheat jumps! Still gets the headshot to Melzer.
They heard 2 Vandals.
And there it goes. No
the defuse
that could get done.
The defuse!
To the defuse! They can't spray it! The Red Bull clutch from the sub here of FURIA. Conan steps up and they stand a chance to bring this into overtime.
Is Conan professional enough to get in here and play was the question. Well, pros don't fake. The answer is solidified. Conan having a hell of a game and a huge defuse to keep FURIA in split.
And despite that, it's Medzine defusing, but I'm calling Conan for that huge kill that he got on Melzer. Because KRU were playing on those stars with the Gravwell and the Nova Pulse. And it got denied off Conan. An accidental jump still gets that kill to allow the defuse to happen in the smoke. But KRU, not shook by what just happened, gets first blood this time around. Round 24 in regulation.
Blinded.
That being FURIA's first retake there in 4 rounds. And a huge one at that. They needed it a lot. Cosmic Divide ready for the retake. We've seen how FURIA uses that. If it is going to be an A plant, this might benefit FURIA here so they can get themselves into that A site for the attack we've seen them use. Slow push out here from Khalil. They're repositioning and trying to get this info before they give KRU too much space. This makes it much more dangerous, though, because now KRU has a way onto the defensive side.
Lots of pressure on A main. And with that, the A ramp is open. A heaven is also open. Cosmic Divide onto defense. Thundering through our KRU on the top of the site. But Conan once again. Guardian dropping 2. One hit by the Satchels. We're going into overtime.
Van Silly, cast your mind back to the regular season. At what point did we see KRU fall apart in their games?
Right there.
Right at the end, right on the precipice of victory, they start to fall apart. And here, Conan with the Guardian, able to start dismantling KRU enough for FURIA to close this out of regulation and bring us into overtime. What? They knew it the whole time. We did not see any bit of reluctance from FURIA in those last few rounds, pushing forward, gaining aggressive positions, and just getting in the face of KRU to bring us into OT. Now the pressure is on. KRU, who are in position to win their pick, and now not so certain.
But FURIA is still a team that has found some decent success on this map throughout the regular season of the Americas. Already starting things off on a pause. FURIA doesn't want to let KRU run with any type of momentum, because First Blood seem to have been shining in favor of KRU on their attack half. And of course, tactical timeouts mean tactical bears, as we just saw here on the screen. But yeah, I gotta say here, it's gonna be hopefully KRU. They've talked in the interviews from Coach Adam about the mental, about their positioning of where they were when they got that victory against MIBR. 0-9 throughout the regular season, and now they have to keep their mental strong. A moment where they actually got the fuse on a 2 versus 1. Make that even a 3 versus 2 on a post plant. And now they have to try to win here on their defensive side, starting things off in overtime number 1.
And the operator stays for Davies.
That's right. Blast cannon. Satchels across. Wall comes up. And that's MW0 taking control of that. Now in the front, fully divided. Dash across with the Jazine. A 1-for-1 goodbye kill onto Davies. And it's FURIA all across the board.
The pressure you can see running through these players on the take there. A few mistakes allows FURIA the sight. Almost without a death. Conan goes down though, and now Melzer and Nags forced to push in.
Oh,
a pit 2.
How annoying is
just
that?
To add.
2 kills a plant. Pit available.
Gun here.
And no Sky to help out the retake for KRU. A position where they were so good at yesterday against MIBR. Now they have to face the music against 4 players. The show ends for Nagsit, leaving Melzer in a near impossible situation.
Wow.
Was trying to bait out players by running around. And it's back to FURIA in the lead. But not only that,
Switching
at
sides.
map point.
Match point.
FURIA remembers those last 2 rounds that brought him to OT. Stay in the face of KRU. And KRU use their timeout. Hopefully Adam has that information. A has been a priority here for KRU. The A ramp control, allowing the movement of FURIA to figure out where they are. We've also seen success from KRU once they go towards mids, once they go towards mailroom, and then we might have a rope room play. They've had so many things that have worked.
Exactly, you've named them all, and that's what FURIA's, the advantage that FURIA currently has in terms of the conditioning that they've done against KRU on their attack half, because think about it again on the first few rounds. Lots of B control, lots of B pressure. Then you have some A control, then you have Digizine working that mid. So it really comes down to, yes, what has Adam picked up so far in those 24, make that even now 25 rounds overall? And where can they actually shut down Digizine early in the round, because he's going to be the man to look out for.
And operator versus operator as we get in here. 2 glass cannons to come through. We'll keep an eye on Digizine. So far over at A, and the other operator is going to be mid. Back to that strategy of slowly creeping up, gaining position in the first angle with Davies. So eyes on him to start. B main control looks like it may be close up here for Khalil. That could be quite dangerous if it goes that side. Double jump peaks.
That was the plan.
Huge info.
Trying to punish Madzine on the top of ramp, or the top of Dents rather. Doing a good job actually cycling the first pieces of utility on that mid control. Nebula already coming out.
Satchel out.
Poison Orb on the attack sign for Nags. So he's trying to keep players anchored from FURIA on that A site, forcing a Trailblazer as well. So this is actually a really good start here for KRU on working that map. Less utility available for FURIA on the hold. Oof. 1 HP left.
There's such good info right now from Digizine. He can actually see through this wall, so it going up and down is not affecting FURIA's defensive positioning.
It's going to be the call after the poison orb coming down. Davies just waiting here, aiming down the sight of his operator. He's not going to spot anything yet.
30 seconds left.
And as the smoke dissipates, you also see NW0 falling back here on an off angle in the B side. Big flashes coming through, but Khalil still on the top of the boxes. This might be it. Next! Just got dropped by NW0, and FURIA managed to fight back, climb back, bring it to overtime, and win it.
FURIA had lost their last 2 overtime.